Leadership is often misunderstood. People think leadership begins with authority, titles, or control. But in reality, leadership often begins with service. It begins with showing up consistently, building trust, and helping communities solve problems together. In this conversation with Rotary District 5020, Governor Tony Camoroda, we uncover something deeper: how leadership scales across borders, organizations, and difficult economic times, while still remaining deeply human.
Just knowing what I know about the way Rotary works and what got me started with Rotary in my first club is just seeing the impact of what Rotary does in our communities.
Yeah.
It's not only me, 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 me. Rotary is you, 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 you. Rotary is how can I help you? What can we do for you? We have strong mentorship. We have strong people that can get together at a moment's notice and pull things together to make our communities better. Whether it's a dike breaking in some community and we're on water watch, trying to help evacuate people on a flood situation, or whether it's far range planning on helping build the well in another country. It's all humanitarian. It's all giving back. My background, both of my parents were heavily involved in our activities when we were growing up, in the parents clubs and the church activity groups, those kind of things. So I had good leadership, good mentorship, good examples growing up. And Rotary just seemed to fit. And in those days, Rotary was an example of you needed to be someone in the community that was established. It was someone who the club felt you could bring something to the table. And today, Rotary still does that. Rotary is basically a leadership development program, whether we believe it or not. But we take people from all different walks of life in a community, and we all come together and form the service above self. I mean, that's what it's all about, basically.
One of the most important leadership lessons in this interview is that leadership is not transactional. It is relational. Tony repeatedly returns to mentorship, trust, and collective action. Modern organizations often become obsessed with structure, policy, and reporting systems. But high-performing leadership cultures are built on people helping people. Notice something important here. Rotary mobilizes because individuals already trust one another before crisis arrives. That's leadership infrastructure. And frankly, many organizations don't discover the value of trust until things begin falling apart.
Well, I'll tell you, John, we get so much training in the district governor line that it helps transform you into leadership. Now, my background also is in organizational behavior. That's my college degree. So some of this comes fairly with knowledge and experience from my school book days, which was a long time ago. But still, I've continued those processes moving forward in my life. And being involved with two countries has totally been different. Now, prior to me becoming the district governor line, I visited Victoria probably 20, 25 times. And that was about it. I didn't go much beyond that because my sphere of influence was in Victoria. Now, as I was preparing for my role, I got up into Courtenay. I got up into or down into Sydney by the Sea, your club area, and Cumberland and Comox Valley, but just on little jaunts, as Victoria's my home base. Now in the district governor role, they don't teach you that, but we're still human beings. We're still Rotarians. We still have that upbeating sense of urgency to make our communities better, no matter which country we belong to, whether it's on the Victoria side in the Vancouver Island, or whether it's way down south where we end, down in Woodland, Washington. It's the same thing, only the faces are changing. That's it. The areas are changing. I go to a meeting, and if I close my eyes, not if you blindfolded me and kidnap me and I opened up my eyes, at the end of the meeting, I would be surprised where I was at because I would think I would be somewhere else because the message is mostly the same.
Leadership today requires adaptability. The world is changing quickly, politically, economically, technologically. But organizations that survive are the ones capable of maintaining shared values while adapting operationally. Tony's comments highlight something critical. The geography changes, the people change, but leadership principles remain remarkably consistent. Trust, service, listening, community, execution. That's what scales.
I said, I'm going to have it in Victoria. Let's do this. So I spent 4 days, 3 days, 1 day, but 2 days in Victoria, working with the Victoria Convention Center and Visitors Bureau and working with the hotel, saying, if I bring this conference in 2026 to this town, and I can guarantee, and I'm working with the hotel now and guarantee these home rates, can I have those prices? Can we write a contract now? I'll put a deposit down in 2 weeks. By the time I get the checks and everything done, in 2 weeks' time, we'll have this and we can go forward and I can plan my year. And they thought about, both entities thought about it, and they said, sure, come back tomorrow. We'll have everything set up. Well, I went out and had a couple glasses of wine, feeling really good, feeling, wow, I did this. This is really amazing that we're going to have 2023 prices. Now, what does that do? Well, how much inflation do we have now since then? So I got this wild idea. How about if we do this 3 years in a row? Would you be interested? Not knowing my successors at the time, I've got these big dice and I'm rolling them, seeing if they would go for it. Well, they said, you know what? Let's talk to our people. When I went back, both of them said that. And so I got on the ferry. They said, we'll let you know by the end of business today. I had to catch the ferry to go back. And when I got home, opened up my computer, there was 2 contracts that stated for the next 3 years in a row, we could have pricing for 2023.
Yay! Right
Wow.
on.
So I listened when I was out there. Did I have foresight that we would have inflation as high as it is? The only thing that's going to be a little different as I say this, because don't hold my feet to the fire, as far as pricing goes, because food costs have gone sky high on both sides, in Washington State and in Canada, as far as that goes. So the food's going to be a little bit more, and we're doing some things to make it more affordable. We have little vouchers for people at the conference, at the Celebration and Learning event, excuse me, to go out and have, instead of a $75 or $85 rubber chicken with vegetables that were steamed last week on a plate, we're going to go out in the communities and give them a $25 voucher at about 14 different restaurants that are prepared to serve us. So you're going to go in, order off of the main menu. The people that have come on board with this, and if you go on to my event app and look it up, you can see all of the local restaurants that have supported our district, and we're going to go there and have a meal and get $25 off and then go back to the venue. So you're going to spend 25, 35, 45, whatever you want, and a glass of wine or a beer. And you can't have that at the venue because they would charge us even more than $75 a person. So you can sit there in a restaurant, still have a group of Rotarians around you, and have maybe some of them are giving special menus so they can get us in and out. Others you can order off the main menu. But that's what we've done to keep the pricing $284 Canadian dollars. Unheard of. It's never been that low for 10 years.
This may actually be the most important leadership moment in the entire interview. Tony didn't simply identify a problem. He acted before the crisis fully arrived. That's strategic leadership. He recognized inflationary pressures early, negotiated years ahead, created partnerships, redesigned the conference model, and ultimately delivered affordability while strengthening local business relationships. That's not theory. It's applied leadership under pressure. And frankly, this is where many organizations fail. They wait too long. They react instead of preparing. They protect systems instead of protecting people. Leadership requires foresight and sometimes courage to innovate before others fully understand why. If you're leading a business, an organization, nonprofit, or community initiative right now, ask yourself, are you simply maintaining operations? Or are you building trust, adaptability, and long-term resilience? Because leadership is not just about managing the present. It's about preparing people for what comes next.